thousands of drone sightings.
Never seen so many UFOs in my life.
And more weird stuff every single day.
Were they human or non-human?
Non-human. We are not alone.
You deserve to know how to tell what the hell is going on. And I just did a very confidential talk to my inner circle last night. But I think that you need to see this.
People within the U.S. government believe it's true. The world deserves the truth.
Growing number of drone sightings.
They are non-human, higher intelligence.
The unidentified aircraft are the size of cars.
It's like the classic UFO that you would see online.
A lot of people are wondering what the hell is going on.
That's it. I just wanted to start us off like this, bringing you a few videos, and I just want to give you an understanding that other people besides white people have information about the things that are being seen. And my thing is that you should always question, and also you should look at things from the mainstream media trying to push a certain paradigm. The government, as you will see, is admitted to alien life, alien kind of whatever else. But we've already known this for years. Now all of a sudden, it's supposed to be a conspiracy now too. Watch these people that come out of nowhere that's saying how they're NSA, they're agents of this, agents of that, they were in the government. Watch all these people, because they want you to think a certain way too. While meanwhile, this is deeper than anything that they're trying to put out there. They're trying to make it seem as if these drones are, I don't know nothing. I don't know. Who knows what they are, right? Yeah, okay. Let's drop this and yep.
Whatever you call them.
You see, when you say unidentified flying object,
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You can't go anywhere with that.
Okay.
The only reason I see that people like UFOs is for that very reason, so I can keep in business all the time. Because it's unresolvable.
Okay.
Now, that's
So
not
you've identified it.
But when you resolve something,
Okay. But if you were in above top secret, let's say you might have seen some craft in those hangars. Is that right?
It was my first clue that there was something in space that was different. I was handed one day a set of data. The guy that gave it to me said, nobody else around here has ever been able to get anything out of these data. And if anybody can, you can. And so I went through it, and I found this one's parallel lines crossing the ring, all the rings at once. That's about as long as you can get them.
That's incredible.
But I could tell that those lines demarked the outside of an object. And that's how I came up with the scale I present in there of different lengths of these things.
Okay, so at this time, though, you've written the first book, and you're working above top secret. You say you got claustrophobia, and at that point, you hadn't written Ringmakers of Saturn.
That's right.
Had you start to stumble on some of the information that eventually went into the book?
I didn't start anything with a book until after Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 flew.
Okay. On your conclusions. When you say things are getting critical, are you talking about something to do with the vehicles that are in the rings of Saturn?
Yes, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You see, it's sort of simple. On That's a lot of energy.
Right.
And
Okay. And this is the ring, right? This is the ring?
that ends up being the ring.
Yeah.
It's
And they're-
hot plasma.
Oh, really? Okay, so, and what your theory is they're manufacturing it, is that correct?
It comes, that's the exhaust from this thing.
From the craft?
Yes.
Is it because, are they stationary or are they moving, the craft?
They're probably moving.
So do you think, when you say things are getting critical, are you
Okay,
saying...
Don, just take that picture and say that's the exhaust. It's like you have an airplane with an exhaust. It's in your atmosphere, and it can load a lot of energy, you know. And but this is Saturn, like John Lear says, you know, Saturn is the focal point, and I can't agree with him more.
Okay, but John Lear talks about Saturn actually being portal into another dimension.
Well, you know, he's theorizing.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily go there.
I don't go that way.
Uh-huh.
I either say this is the way it is, or I can attack it.
Okay, but you're saying things are getting critical because I'm really curious. Are you saying that those craft are coming here? Is that why it's critical?
Appeared over the Air Force. Huge cigar-shaped ship appeared over the Air Force Base. These cigar-shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5". These tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had controlled a large portion of the galaxy that we live in. And this was the statement that Ronald Reagan was making to the United Nations when he said that if all the countries on the planet realized that there was a threat from outer space and from an alien civilization, we would all come together. But he was not allowed to make this statement. What I tell you is true, and the gentleman that you had on before, tell him to look up.
Often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
Like the bugs in deal we're on. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall. How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
safe 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's statement about that?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Have you ever been in touch with him?
No.
No?
I have tried to stay independent and not be affected by others' opinions. I would rather have what I present clash with somebody else and see who wins.
Okay.
And settle it that way, rather than make a shouting match over it.
Sure.
I learned at Ames that the louder you shouted, the more probable it was that you would get your way. And I don't want to go through that routine.
Okay. Well,
Who are the leaders of Star Command? And as we already pointed out to you, the Commando Patah is Aldebaran. He's one of the first commandos of Shiran. Safei is Shiran's first lieutenant. Also, his father-in-law, being he's married to his daughter, Athena. Also, his granddaughter, Semjaze. All these people, Billy Myers said that he was in contact with. And keep in mind, we're not the first to put this out. The master teacher already put it out in The Man from Planet Riz in the Holy Tablets, which is in the links in the descriptions. And there's many other books out on the Pleiadians, who they claim to be, Star Command. And everybody's under the impression that these Star Command guys, these Nautics, are good guys. Keep in mind, they are not from Pleiades originally, but migrated to Pleiades where they set up a planet. They came from Cyrus B. It goes all the way back, right? Keep in mind, the real leader of Star Command name is Hatan from Cyrus B, who is the most military clan leader. Nubaru passed by Cyrus B, draining the energy out of it, causing these beings to follow Nubaru back, right, to Earth, or Ki, right? And these beings are tricky. Keep in mind, the Nomos is hard to rock around. To rock around is tricky. They are neutral beings, and at one point they broke off to fight against the Anunnakis to help the humans. And then, after helping the humans fight the Anunnakis, they turned then on the humans. Keep in mind, there's different types of Nomos, but this is the ground clan, one Pacific group, the warrior clan, who fight with the leader Hatan from Cyrus B. And this is what they would look like. Right? Reptilian beings, neutral. Right? They broke off and made a war against the Anunnaki military, and this is what the Anunnaki military would look like. Right? And there's different types, right? They have bird type, lion face types, humanoid types. Read your book of Revelations. One had a face like an ox, one had a face like a bird, one had a face like a lion. These are different extraterrestrials from different parts of the galaxy who chose to join on with us. And keep in mind, Star Command is the Galactic Federation of Light. Light only makes up 1% of the universe. And keep in mind, this is a Leilu's gang, right? Because a Leilu is really Shiran, an avatar for the Nomos beings who went to Neptune. And we're going to get in that. But at first, a Leilu was over Orion. And he got kicked out, and then he went to Cyrus B, where he ran into a Queen Mir, who he fell in love with, but she wouldn't date him because he wasn't part of their DNA. So what does he do?
he sliced his DNA with the Nomos. They later on moved to Neptune, right? They're a family, right? And started thriving on Neptune. Keep in mind, Alelu is a news half-brother. To make a long story short, a battle ensued where Alelu lost and was sentenced to Mars. And one of the signs on Mars is the face, where they set up a laboratory later. But Alelu was sentenced to Mars to die in his avatar. His son chose to stay with him, whose name was Anzu. Anzu used the proper machines to harness Alelu's energy so they can create a new avatar. This leads up to what they show you in the Avatar movie about transferring your consciousness to an avatar. Keep in mind, extraterrestrials been doing this for thousands, millions, if not billions of years. Keep in mind the storyline of Nibiru coming into this solar system, right? And Neptune was populated by the Neptunians, who are originally the Nomos people from Cyrus, connected with Alelu. And they range in different species. Some of them you refer to as mermaids, right? And we already pointed a lot of this out on Field Trip to Neptune, right? We're just getting better footage for you to show you what's going on. And keep in mind, there are Nubian black extraterrestrials all over the galaxy. We're about to get ready to unfold this stuff to you as the new years come in. We got new information coming in. We about to get ready to crack heads and twist caps, right? So these are the different, what you refer to as mermaids or Neptunians. And keep in mind, they showed you different species like this in the Harry Potter movie, right? So there's different Nomos. This is only one species, right? The mermaid types. You got the shark, all the different fishes in the sea can be classified under Nomos, and some of the reptilians, right? Can be classified as the Nomos beings.